The world is crazy.
I don't care what anyone says. The Vatican is the most satanic, scary place I've ever seen, and it's like the Antichrist lives there. Like, look how creepy this is. That is not God or Jesus. Come on. That is the creepiest statue. Open your eyes.
Primitive religion as being organized schizophrenia. More than 50% of Americans believe in the devil and a belief that the devil influences daily activities. These are people who can vote. These are people who can serve on juries. These are people who can operate motor vehicles. These are people making decisions about medical interventions. I, for one, in this outpost of not terribly extreme irrationality in this corner of the country, am astonished. We live in a world that is highly irrational. And the punchline of this is not simply about non-Western traditional human societies. The exact same thread of schizotypalism runs throughout all of the belief systems of human societies, including Western ones. We are permeated by irrationality. The sort of tradition that I was raised in is not normally considered a sign of robust mental health to hear voices coming out of burning bushes. This is considered a worrisome sign. This is considered diagnostic. It is not a good thing to be reporting that you just spent the night wrestling an angel. It is usually a very disturbing sign if you are reporting you've had a conversation with someone who is dead and has risen from the grave. These are diagnosable problems in our secular Western realm. These are the backbones of our belief systems, we in the West as well as we humans in non-Westernized settings. Schizotypalism runs through all of human history. What you wind up having then is this obvious question: who invented this stuff? Who came up with the notion that the world was invented in 7 days, or snakes with apples are up to something no good, or it's possible to give birth when you're still a virgin? These were not designed by committees. These were designed by extremely formative, extremely influential schizotypals throughout history. Who invented this stuff? And you look throughout the history of religious leaders, those who have invented some of the theology, and we will come to different variants of religious leaders shortly, as you see those who invented the theology, that there is very often a thread of metamagical thinking that goes through this. And this is metamagical thinking of a type that falls readily into the spectrum of schizotypalism. Now, one of the themes we've endlessly come back to in this class is appropriate context, and this is a perfect realm to see this, because what we wind up getting is you gotta get it just right. If you hear voices, it's gotta be during the ceremony. If you're speaking in tongues, it can't be in the middle of the silent part of the hunt. You don't want to have too many of them. Thank God we've got this shaman, but not 2 of them around here. You've got to get the context right. And what we've seen throughout human history, and Western history as well, is get it wrong, and we have names for these things. Get it wrong, and these are abortive religious fringe groups. These are cults, and you look at some versions of this in our own recent time. You look at David Koresh in Waco. You look at someone like Jim Jones in Jonestown. You look at someone like Charles Manson, and these are people who were highly metamagical in their thinking, highly charismatic, but hit a wall at the point where we still classify them as cults. Manson is a diagnosed schizophrenic. The other 2, there's only post-hoc sort of forensic psychiatry that we can do. What you wind up getting is get it wrong and you call it a cult. Get it right in the right time in the right place, and maybe for the next couple of millennia, people won't have to go to work on their birthday if you get it exactly right in that setting.
We're not pointing fingers at these kids. We send our
French. Napoleon III.